So often we can see this waking up thing as kind of abstract in a way. We can start to imagine these future goals of enlightenment or awakening or liberation or any these nice concepts. But actually it's really about coming alive. And it's very down to earth and very simple, really. And what I mean by coming alive is that, if we've been believing in all kinds of ideas about who we think we are, it can seem like a really restrictive prison, and almost as if we're kind of living dead somehow. We appear to be going around being someone in this life, but actually we feel quite dead inside, and we're suppressing so much of this wild and free life energy that we really are. And often, for many of us, the spiritual search starts as a kind of a longing for that life energy to express itself more freely, more openly, more truthfully, honestly. And it all starts with identity, with acknowledging who you really are, beyond what you think about yourself, but what you really know without referring to thought. And without referring to thought, it really leaves you quite wide open, lost, without any identity to hold on to, because every identity that you think you know comes from thought, a belief about yourself, or a story you've been telling yourself over the years, based in dead memories, dead concepts. And when we start to question these beliefs about ourselves, energy starts to be freed up. At first maybe it's uncomfortable because we've been imagining that it should be all nice and sweet and easy and comfortable. And when we start to see that actually I'm not this safe personality that I thought I was, I'm not this restricted idea, then we start to realize that actually we don't know who we are. And in that, anything can be here. And whatever is here never means anything about your identity. It doesn't make you a good person or a bad person. It doesn't make you more spiritual or less spiritual. When you realize that any identity, any belief you have about yourself is always apparently referring to an experience or a story or a memory, something that is passing and passing and passing, not reliable, doesn't stay here permanently, then anything can be here. All kinds of physical sensations, emotions, even thoughts. Coming and going, meaninglessly, never meaning anything about you, and yet here, being felt, being experienced fully, without any need to deny or suppress or escape, because it doesn't mean anything about you. In fact, a belief that an experience or a sensation means something about you is often a reason to try to deny it or escape it, because it would mean something negative about you. Or even vice versa, if there's an experience that you think, well, this is very nice, I like it, this means that I'm a good person, or I'm particularly aware or spiritual or awakened, and you want that experience to stay here, to be permanent, which of course it won't be, because everything comes and goes, every experience passes. And whatever is here never means anything about who you are. And this seeing that whatever is here can just be here to be felt and experienced, and at the same time doesn't mean anything about you, is this coming alive that I'm referring to. It's like a defrosting, as if you were kind of an ice block of beliefs, ideas, frozen energy somehow, suppressed, contained apparently in here, in this little box of who you believe yourself to be. And the more these ideas are seen through, the more there is this defrosting and more feeling. And the feelings aren't always necessarily nice and comfortable. It is whatever it is. More and more freed up energy, free to just be whatever it is. Sometimes chaotic, wild and free. Sometimes very, very subtle. And sometimes very, very obvious and big. And you never know what it means, or where it's going, or where it's come from. It's just life expressing itself. And essentially this is what you've most deeply been longing for. Although it may not always fit into your ideas about how it should look or feel, this is the freedom that we love. Even if it rocks the boat somehow, causes trouble. Even if it means that at times you don't feel safe. This defrosting, in a way, is a bigger safety, because it's the apparent prison, the frozen ice block that you've been living in. It seems to be safe. It's believed to be comfortable and safe, but actually, once you start to see through these beliefs about yourself, you can see how much pain you've been living in that perhaps you didn't even realize. It had just been considered normal. We can get so used to living in this restricted way, painful, fearful way, But it's only when it starts to loosen that we realize, wow, how contracted and restricted I was living. And this process of coming alive isn't something that the mind can do. It might hear this and think, well, okay, I'm going to try to come alive. I'm going to try to do it. But I was going to say I hate to disappoint you, but actually I don't hate to disappoint you at all. I mean, it's good to be disappointed in this way, to see that actually the mind or thought can't do it. It can't be done. And in fact, all the doing, all the effort, all the beliefs in the thinking are actually what seems to be creating this ice block. So it's actually about seeing I can't do it. I don't know who I am. I don't understand. I don't get it. But there is a letting go and a loosening that happens in that, a kind of a surrender to this not knowing in thinking. And then everything is very obviously known now, beyond thinking. This sensation that I feel right now, this is known. I don't need thought to put a label on it or understand it or make it mean something about me. It's just felt. It's known to be here, and that's enough. Nothing more is needed. So it doesn't have to fit into our ideas. It won't. It can't. This is what it is to live freely. It's to not fit into ideas. That is freedom. Even though sometimes it might feel frightening to live without knowing how to live, to take each step in life without knowing whether you're stepping on safe ground or not. Anything can happen. It's very risky. But living with this risk is what it is to be alive, really alive. Risking perhaps being uncomfortable, perhaps getting hurt, and maybe even risking death. Then you start to feel alive.